Well, hello everyone. Hopefully I'm speaking loud enough for the video here. I know some people say it's really quiet occasionally. Do you know, I've waited over an hour for that to stop. It's like, what are you doing? Everyone's garden? Hopefully I can talk over it loud enough. So apologies if you can hear the lawnmowers in the background. I'd say it has been over an hour since they started that, and the gardens around here are not that big. Actually, ours is the biggest on this street because it's got the side bit as well. But we have it's all gravel. It got redone. It's all plants around the edge and gravel. So there's no grass for us to mow, fortunately. But crimes. Anyway, yes. So what I wanted to do was another little bit of a talk video. This is a very YouTube video format, I think. There's going to be some of this, and there'll be some clips from a trip I did on Saturday. Yeah, I wanted a bit of a chat, I suppose, a bit of an update. Because last time you all saw me, it was LNER, well, BRE Strange, and then it was a quick video going, no, I'm doing LNER. Well, you won't be shocked to hear that's changed. And I'll go into all that, why and everything like that. But anyway, first off, just wanted to show you my new Pico Engage wagon, the Pinxton Colliery wagon. I've not actually got it out of the box yet. But Pinxton, there is a chap called Dave Golder who has recorded a song sung by himself called The Shutdown of the Pinxton Line. And it's all about the last train making its way from Pinxton to Nottingham. And that does actually say Pinxton Collieries Limited, Nottingham. There you probably can see. It's a tune's got a really nice sort of, melody to it, as it were. I'm not a music person, I don't know correct terminology. But I like the song, and I saw this, so I've got to have that. Now, I do have one coming in 00 as well, just because. The 001 is coming from POW Sides, Private Owner Wagon Sides, and I've opted for the pre-printed kit, which once you get the kit, you must varnish it, otherwise you rub all the lettering off. They do actually tell you this. But yes, so I'll have a 001 as well. But anyway, more on gauges shortly. So rather than one of these videos where I sit and stare at the camera for ages, I thought I'd run some trains at the same time, and we'll see how this works. So this will give away what railway company I'm doing. It won't shock 90% of you if you know me, but yes, an engine we don't see very often on many videos, and that it's just coming in now. I've tried to give you the best view I can. This is my older Bachmann Mogul. Bachmann Collet and a Hornby Clear Story. Now, where to begin? I'll try and not do the big shadow of doom that's about to pass over there. There we are. Big shadow of doom. Too much if I can help it, but there will be some shunting, so I'll probably be over here for the rest of the video anyway, because we're going to have a freight train next. But I've spoken to some of you offline, as it were, off YouTube. Oh wow! Do you know, I've done that about 3 or 4 times this morning because I've run this train in and out whilst waiting for that lawnmower to stop, and that's the first time I derailed it. I should do it. But yes, So what's happened in the meantime since? Well, basically, I've had trouble with this track. I think I may have mentioned it before. This first started to show itself with the Dapol Hawthorne Leslie Henry, but that did go back to rails. They sorted it out. It's come back, runs as it should now. It's actually a replacement one. The original one was no good. Let's bring 53, 55 back here. I have modified this model slightly, in as much as changing the livery from shirt button to this full written out Great Western copy to a photograph. It's actually a split chassis model that's being converted to DCC. It's a little bit temperamental at times. Speed step 9, it's really will find a great lurch for speed and shoot forwards. So it'd be fine if you had it on a big roundy layout or something like that, like in that mode, but it does mean I have to be a little bit careful. I'll give you an example. Look, there's, and you'll see it slow down suddenly like that. So, currently it's one of only 2 engines that could, well, 2 or 3 engines actually that can actually pull this train, because I need to look at that Clear Story Coaches rear coupler. Yes, I've had some trouble with the track. Like I say, these points, for those who don't know, there's a jumper on the underside of it, and it's not because it's cold. It's a little plastic piece with some metal contacts inside, and basically you can move it across on pins on the bottom of the point to connect different pins together. You got 2 positions it can go in, and one of them that makes the frog here makes it dead, and one of it makes it live. So naturally, DCC, I have them all live. Still got a bit of an issue where engines are stopping, not necessarily on the frog, but then on this bit here. It's on the 2 newest ones that came from Rainbow Railways of recent. It's nothing to do with them, it's just the fact they supplied them. It's hard to find places that supply this track. So yeah, and the turret actually at the other end down there, I was quite surprised just now. It's been playing me up all morning in a similar fashion. I'd given it a clean, yes, a load of muck came off it, but it started playing me up still. Okay, but yes, that was a bit sort of okay, a bit off-putting as it were. And I think the answer there is possibly, if this doesn't improve through use, maybe these times sort of bed in and get used to trains going over it or something. A bit of weight might just push something into it in place properly. It's possibly that Pico track will be the way to go. I did think about running extra wires down, because the minute this whole layout is running off literally just 2 wires into one piece here. It's the magic of this track, one of the magics of this track. It's very odd because I've never had this issue before with it, never. Anyway, not a problem, not a problem. There's solutions there. Now, some of you may know, and obviously I showed you an N-Gauge wagon straight away, that I am also very keen on the old N-Gauge, especially my Japanese collection. And Saturday, I took a trip to Swindon Museum, Steam at Swindon. So I've put a couple of clips now. I didn't take an awful lot of clips in there, but I've put a couple of clips now in the video. This trip did a couple of things for me. Obviously, it was a fantastic day out with my good chum, Greg. And the museum, I think, is actually superior to the experience at the National Railway Museum. Now, I personally will stand by that, even when the NRM is fully open. I mean, obviously, at the minute it's not fully open, so it's not entirely fair, some could argue, but the experience, I thought, was a good balance between stuff for younger visitors, information boards that didn't baby enthusiasts, but also didn't go overboard too far. They were a nice balance of facts and simplified terms, and that, I think, for all visitors to be able to enjoy and appreciate and learn something. But yes, what this did for me is it showed, in my mind, I think I already probably knew this, that the Great Western is my railway of choice. I know the Great Western Branch Line is such a cliche, but hey, this isn't the same as everyone else's, because this is my one. Now, some of you may not know that my great-great-grandfather drove steam locomotives, and he didn't drive the Flying Scotsman, because he packed in his mainline job before Flying Scotsman was even constructed, despite being the fact that it's just a little running joke there. Everyone's granddad, you can guarantee everyone's granddad drove the Flying Scotsman. Whenever someone tells me at work, oh yeah, my granddad works on the railways. Oh yeah, whereabouts was he? Oh, I don't know as such. I know he drove the Flying Scotsman though. I'm sure he did. Where's your family come from? Derbyshire. Oh yeah, okay. But never tell them anything else. It's just one of those running gags. Anyway, I did always think of a layout in Model Railway for Exhibition, Grandad's Railway, and everything was Flying Scotsman. So you had Flying Scotsman pulling goods trains, Flying Scotsman shunting, Flying Scotsman pulling passenger trains. But yeah. Anyway, he was born in Merthyr in 1867. Yes, when you say great, obviously that's three generations above you, but it's 3 generations, and grandparents don't seem that long ago. They don't seem that far away, because some of us know our grandparents, some of us were lucky enough to know our great-grandparents. I wasn't able to meet my great-grandparents, but I've met people of their generation in the family, and then you think it's only their parents above them, That's the generation we're talking about. So, but when you say 1867, it suddenly seems like a very long time ago, because it was, really. But yes, he was born in Merthyr, and grew up in Merthyr, and lived there. And he worked for the local coal mine. And then this is from his obituary. And then it says he left there and went to work for the Great Western Railway, where he became a driver. Oh, hello. Got a derailed coach. Should we have a redo of that departure? I think we should, shouldn't we? Keep something moving for you as well. As you can see now, the goods train's arrived. We can right, let's try again, shall we? Probably further forward than I was, but I won't. Yeah, it's born in Merthyr, lived there, as they went to work before, and it says for the Great Western Railway. Now, the LNWR also had a route into Merthyr, so there's a possibility. He said I just went on CSB set 9. That's better though. The Underworld's had a railway into Merthyr, and I did think on Saturday, I was like, oh wow, I saw the map, I saw this route coming in. Could it be just the Great Western named because it's famous? See the comments previously about Flying Scotsman. Or in the aviation world, you know, our great granddad or granddad was in the RAF. He flew Spitfires, or he flew Lancasters. He might have been the man that made the tea, you know, whatever. Or the payment or any of the other important jobs on an airfield during the Second World War. You know, fitter, engine mechanic, that, you know, that sort of thing, ground crew and armourers and all the rest, all those very important jobs that were done. So yes, and I did voice this to Greg at the time, and he sort of, yes, he said sadly it's often the case, but it then occurred to me, and I had a chat with Gary later that evening as well, saying that where he died in Bedworth, because he worked for, we'll say the Great Western for now, he worked for them, became a driver, drove for a few years, left there and went back to the coal mine and drove engines there. Then he moved to the Midlands and retrained as an electrical engineer. Which I think in that period he must have been one of the first in the area to do so. Close up so I can actually get the couplings apart. But yes, Bedworth was on the London North Western, and it would have been living memory at the time of his death. It would have been living memory that the railway company was there. And as Gary has quite rightly pointed out, it's not exactly a small company, was it? It was quite a large concern. So it does make it a bigger possibility he did work for the Great Western. Now this would have been the era of Indian red frames. If you remember City of Truro's fantastic livery, or you've seen the livery on the forthcoming Dapol 517 they've announced. Then you'll know the one. Basically, look for the one where the wheels are red and everything as well. I'm thinking about doing to one of these. The Duke Dogs never wore it. The earliest they can actually wear a shirt button. This one, I have got a photograph of 3215 with Great Western on tender like this. It's technically a too early a livery for it, but I have got the photograph to prove it did actually carry this livery. Because junior royal tenders were interchangeable. In theory, you could put a tender this small behind a king. It'd look ridiculous, and it wouldn't go very far. But it could work in theory. That's a nice portrait of the Duke Dog, isn't it? I have ordered the cabside number plates for this. I'm trying to finish them off anyway, regardless of all the rest of it. Yes, so, you know, a family link to it, a possible family link to it is, if it is London North Western, that's fine. I have a coal tank, as some of you are more than aware, when I did the stream of the LMS stuff. And all I'll do is, because this is, the nice thing about modelling the Great Western, that I'm really enjoying the idea of, is, when I say I model a railway company, I may have said this before, I always give myself the full span of that company. So in theory, if it was actually feasible to do, I could have broad gauge trains. I'd be happy to run broad gauge trains along with these. But, you know, there'll be shirt button. There'll be the this on Indian red frames. There'll be all sorts of liveries mixing in. So you know that's an issue. But as far as the London North West is concerned, I can do the same sort of thing. I've got a coal tank. I've got a Super D. Although the Super D is in LMS condition, so probably would also have LMS on the tender. It's fine for the most part. It's the firebox on that needs to be a round top rather than the bell pair. For it to be in LNWR condition, so like the coal tank probably end up as LMS. But on a bigger layout, all I'd have that as a branch coming in onto the Great Western Line to a shared station to have some representation for my great grandfather. The interesting name, Thomas, and he wasn't the only one in Merthyr either at the time. So yes, possible family link, and obviously I know I've mentioned before that my mum's mum, as a youngster on the way to school, remembers going past Tyres the engine sheds, seeing the engines there, and would have travelled on the Great Western to think there's a family link there anyway. Even if Thomas did drive the LWR, I'd prefer to have driven to the Great Western just because, you know, I like the Great Western more. Yeah, so you know that sort of gave me purpose, I think, more than I felt previously. I mean, I did have an inkling towards that idea in the fact that when I did last go to York and I met Tony there and his fiance, I was all about Lodestar. It's opposite Mallard, but I was all about Lodestar. So the inkling was already there that so pausing because need to, you know, couple up, get the brakes off. Also, there's no hoses to attach because these are unfitted wagons. But yes, so I'll just quickly explain while we're at the pit stop though. The siding here, that is to Yoxall's Bakery, where they make all sorts of cakes and breads and things, but also pork pies. It is a little known fact that Nuneaton actually had a pork pie to arrive with the Melton Mowbray pork pie, just that the same protections weren't put in place. Basically, they made a fuss of it. So the Melton Mowbray one did have the fuss made of it and took over, and the Nuneaton one is no more. But Yoxall's Bakery was a thing still, quite late into the, well, quite recently, to be honest with you. But my mum's dad, who was in the First World War, I may have heard mentioned on other videos, he worked there as a baker. Had the same family name. It was, I believe it was a great uncle of my grandma who'd started in. There's a big house that's where a college now sits, not the one that I work at, the other one, the one I attended, that was pretty dreadful, to be honest with you. Oh, hello, we haven't got those. Let's have another go at that, shall we? So yes, the bakery is here, and then the two sidings off, the one closest to me, you can't really see, you can just see the spur going off this way. There's two sidings there, one's got the coal merchants, and one is just a sort of general goods siding where the goods shed would be. That's how I'm imagining all this. It's just managed to push the hook just to the side, does it? Right. Yeah, so yes, that's that. Anyway, so I woke up the latent maimed up mind, I think, is what I was going for there, because it's obviously I have tended to do Great Western quite a lot of recent, but yes, I'm very, very settled with that now, and it's. I hope the tone of my voice actually shows that a little bit more than like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm trying to convince myself as I'm telling you, but this is yes. hopefully this comes across as nice and relaxed conversationally as I am intending it to. But yes, so that answers that question. And the next question was then asked of myself, and we did go to Replica Railway Shop in Swindon, it's just around the corner from Steam, and there was a double O gauge pannier tank for sale there, 40 quid plus 40 to have it fitted because it is split chassis, and they could do all that for you there. And as much as I like the idea of buying a pannier in Swindon, I had to leave it there because the chap was actually extolling the virtues of N-Gauge, and I thought, oh, that's a good point. And I did say, because I'd spoken, here we are. Yeah, it's got pickups and a tender. There's something not right on that point, but anyway. That's the other bit as well, so they get a little bit more speed. And I thought, well, I could use my Japanese on the same circuit then, and I can have a circuit in here and that sort of thing would be nice. And I had actually previously decided on doing N-Gauge with 5 different stations, so you had one for each of the big 4, and then one for BR, which was going to be a Scottish region just to make it different again. But now I'm so told, you know, I'm sort of thinking, and that was all very good. I mean, we had, myself and Mr. Oak had a look at the Dapol Mogul because they've had the engineering sample. Pictures are on Rails of Sheffield's website. But I've got to be honest, it doesn't look great. There's some very big joins, which, you know, the engineering thing, as I had it explained to me, the engineering sample is meant to show what the final model is going to look like, and it didn't look particularly well made. So, and obviously some of you again may know my constant fight with Dapol. You get a good one, you seem to get a really good one, you get a bad one, they're atrocious. And there seems to be no real middle ground for the ones I've had. So yeah, you know, there was that to consider, and I thought, no, it would be really nice because there are proper trains. There's all the kits that you can get via Osborne's, I believe. I mean, you're probably better to get them at shows than you are online, because it's a real hit and miss thing. I've found ordering anything online, the amount of times I've ordered something, not heard anything for weeks, and had to ring them up just to be told, oh, we don't actually have it in stock. Okay, it's taken me to ring you to find us out. Okay, why? You know, drop me an email or something like that, you know. Or ring me if you don't want to do an email, you know. Anyway. So that's a bit of a dark art in itself. But, you know, they are out there. There are things out there. And obviously you can get a lot more in than what I'm doing here. But yes, it was the question I left with was that do I or don't I look at this? So I just concentrated because it's coming up to a set of wagons there. There we are. So I didn't buy the pannier. And actually, I've got to say, he was very good. He kept saying, "We've got plenty. Go away and think about it. Go away and think. Don't try and make a decision now. Go away and think." So the chap in the shop was fantastic in that regard. Come on. But yes, I came away from there. Anyway, unfortunately, and also as you know, I like to promote good mental well-being here. After the week that's just happened, I don't know what started it, but my brain had a complete freak out moment, and I had to cut my weekend short and come back home. Which is why I spoke to Gary that evening, because it was a way of sort of talking to someone, again, familiar surroundings, someone then familiar to talk to as well, and you know, just try to focus on the nice time had at Steam. And that's when we looked at this thing with the Engage Mogul. So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about it, and yesterday morning, because of this stuff with the Mogul, I was just like, is Engage really the way forwards? Is it? So, some of you may know or may not know, my favourite mana is Cook and Mana. It's all down to a silly joke. On one of these, you know, it was like 2 Ronnies or something like that, where I don't know. I'm not saying it was a 2 Ronnies. It's like that sort of program. And man in the car stops by someone walking down the road and says, "Excuse me, can you tell me the best way to cook a mana?" And the chap at the side of the road says, "Why, certainly, sir. In a frying pan over a candle." And yeah, I heard that. I was told that joke in front of the engine. It made me laugh. It still made me. That's very one. So I believe Cookham was one of the first to sell out at Kira scale, because obviously that's the one they scanned. So it's going to be 100% accurate to Cookham Manor, in theory. I'll add as a disclaimer. Now, you know, I've got Hinton Manor here already, my Kira scale Manor, so I already know the quality and how good these things are. Ah, yes, I'm snookering myself a little bit here unless I'm careful. I might need to get a second engine to help with this last manoeuvre. But yes, they had new stock within the past week or so of Cookham Manor, 4 of them, which I'll tell you now, folks, is now 3 because I've got one coming. So it's analog only. It's not the full sound one. They only have the analog one. I mean, what I should have asked them, could you put the chip in for me and send it out that way or whatever, but I'll get the chip at a later date. But I have also got the crew coming. They've only got 1 set of the crews in stock currently, but I've got that one on the way for one of the 2 to use. I do have chips, I believe it's Next 18 in the Manor. I think it's Next 18. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. So yeah, I've got spare Next 18 chip. It can go in it and just get it going initially, but or it just was tempting to pull the one out of Hinton, but there's no point in potentially spoiling that. You know, let's not risk our models, eh? Oh, other way, Dundle. That's it. So yes, I got that, and I was just like, okay, and started playing trains. I sort of designated yesterday as a train playing day, since I was meant to be doing other things originally, visiting South Wales Air Museum actually, but yeah, obviously that didn't come to pass, so I wanted to play trains, and I didn't. I started feeling well. I'm still not 100% now. I'm a bit wobbly still, so I'm trying to sit down as much as I can and drink plenty of water. But yes, I was just like, oh no, have I made the right decision here? I mean, Cooker Manor, really, I wanted it anyway, so that's fine. That's fine. You know, and I will do something for the earliest Great Western engines. I'd make a shed layout or something at least, to have them on display and hear them, see them move around and everything. So I had a look around, and I was looking for particular classes: a loco, castle, hall, things I knew had been out there, manors and granges. Trying at 100, and obviously you're running the risk of all this, of Dapol. But they did say at the at this shop, they did say they would look at my Dapol pannier because it's running dodgily again. Right. We do need another engine to come in. So let's get the... we'll get an easy one. Nice easy one to plonk on the track. So 7714 come in. So I had a look around, and could I find these things? I found a Grange, or supposedly it's again with the usual caveat of it being an Osborne. There's a Grange and a... There was a Grange and a 38, they said, but I think they're actually technically 28 85s on there. And also you've got the Sonic Models Large Prairie, you've got panniers. That's about your lot, with the forthcoming Mogul. And there's a haul on eBay. It's possibly ended now, actually. Let me pull this breaker forward, so I'll pause the video and go and have a look. I know this video is long, that's why I'm trying to keep... It's a running session with me waffling in the background, really, isn't it? Right, give me a second. No, it's still at £64.20 with 1 hour to go. There is a haul on there, but yeah, I'm not overly keen on buying second hand on eBay when it comes to Engage hauls. Oh, Dapol Engage. Farish, not so bad. And obviously there is the set as well, which is what I was thinking of getting. The Western, is it Western Rambler, I think they call it, set with the 64XX and a couple of wagons and a brake van. Well, it helps when you have the right engine selected, doesn't it? Be a toad. No, toad's over there. So yes, the pickings are very slim, and I'm just sitting there thinking I can get a Star. Obviously Union Mills is no more, so good luck finding a Duke Dog or a City. I mean, good luck finding a City in Double O at the minute. There's a couple of Citroens on eBay, and they're all around the £300 mark. So that's fun. Dog out of the way a second. Yes. So I spent my time on a city class, but yeah, I just thought this just isn't worth it. It's not worth contemplating because it's going to be all these engines I've got here, and I've got the Mogul already. I've got a small Prairie, which we're having to wait for Dapol now to redo, but you know, when's that going to happen? Okay, they've got the Ivet 2MTs coming. And the rest of it, and obviously Kurosaki got their new pannier coming out in Double O as well, with stair lives and everything. I mean, this pannier's alright. I've hardwired this one. I wanted to at that point. I could just we want to change that one. Yeah, this one works alright, doesn't it? Yeah, so even longer story short, basically, Double O is the way it's going to have to be. Now, I realise this then means I can't get an awful lot in, like here. As we've seen, this is the extent of what I can actually fit. But it's It is a shame, but yes, so basically that brings it up to speed as where I am now. Really, that's the long and short of that is, so Cookham's on the way, and I will be doing Double O Great Western. It is a shame, because obviously I was thinking, well, with Engage, I could run Japanese stuff on it as well when I wanted to, you know, while the layout in here is the only one I've got. What am I doing? Stupid boy. You know, it's now making the best of what I can do in the space I can do. Now, as you can see, the track actually has relatively behaved itself as regards to locomotive running, and considering that pannier is an older Bachmann one, it's just on the verge of when they swapped over between split chassis and having the PCB for the decoder socket with the decoder socket in it. It has a PCB in there, which is just a straight through, pass through. I did try and replace that initially, it didn't quite work out. It did on the small Prairie, I did the exact same thing on the small Prairie. I went on the Bachmann spares where I ordered the right bits. It worked on the small Prairie. This one had to be hardwired ultimately, but it wasn't horrific to do. And obviously the Akura scale one will be far superior in its running qualities and that, but having the stair lives in there and that. But yeah, so you know, that's where we are with things, really. It's something that I don't know about other people, but myself, as a kid, you always did the best you could with what space you had and everything like that, and I think it's very easy to slip into the but I could do so much more with the space, and you force yourself down, well, I have forced myself down routes such as with, I'll convince myself, no, it's fine, I'll do this in Engage, I'll do that company in Engage. And I think that's maybe then compounds my problem with sticking to one idea. Apart from any other elements I've already spoken about. This is all self-reflective now. And we'll just let them couple that up and take the brakes off, and then I will shun the train backwards slightly to clear the points here, so the pannier can get out. Yes, I think it's sort of force yourself down routes that are not so healthy for the mindset and everything. Pan should probably live at the station, to be honest, shouldn't it? And so now I'm just going to try and make the best of what I've got. I've come up with the industries, I've worked out where things going, and I've done all that. I've done all that by just playing, and it is playing I've done. Yesterday I had the coal merchants over here where the bakery now is. Obviously with the fact that making pork pies and that, you're going to need refrigerated wagons coming in and out, bringing the meat in and taking the finished products out and keeping them cool and fresh. Milk will be needed, all sorts of ingredient stuff, all needed here at the thing. Gives me an excuse for some Cadbury wagons for chocolate deliveries for different things, stuff like that. Some really cool, interesting wagons can appear. There'll be more than that single van that we shunted in there a second ago. But yes, the main part of it all is now that I'm just going to make the best of it, and obviously once I get that bigger space, it'll be a bigger layout. If my great-great-grandfather did drive for the LNWR, so be it. Like I say, I've got plans in that direction, to incorporate it. That's fine. I mean, this is a layout set in the Midlands, not in Wales, but which is something I like to think to be different, because most of the cliche Great Western Branch lines are in the southwest somewhere. So there are ways of making a cliche less cliche. I've not even thought of station name and things like that, and not thought of anything like that. So I did have Arders Heel, which was the original name for Hartshill. I had it on t-shirts in fact last year. But something that actually should have triggered me last year to, in a positive way, to that the GWR was the true way, was there was a slight wave of relief when I had a chat with a certain gentleman called Tony Wright, who some of you may be familiar with as being the owner and of Little Bison. Formerly, I think he still does articles for them anyway, but he worked for Morale, sorry, BRM magazine. British Rail, not Monorail, sorry. Apologies. Got one on there. But yes, and he I spoke to him about not being sure what companies are doing, trying to make up my mind at the show and that. And he said, "What's wrong with the Great Western? It's a very fine railway to model." So, and I just sort of go, "Oh yeah, I suppose that's the point." And then I walked around, and then I decided, and it's an aspect to myself I am fully aware of now, which is people pleasing. I thought, no, I want to impress Tony Wright. I have a lot of respect for him. And I got myself a B1, and I've got the B1 still, and you know, it didn't cost a huge amount. It was 40 quid. But he tested it for me on his track. Tom, I got a bit of a bargain there, but he did sort of say, "You sure not Great Western still?" And yeah, I should have really sort of followed myself there. But hey, doing it now. So yeah, I will finish by shutting up, you'll be glad to know, and we'll just see a passenger train arrive, and then the goods will depart. Give the signal a chance to bring the token around to the Duke Dog. Incidentally, last time I saw the Berkeley run, it was on a goods train at the Sun Valley. Photo of which is on the My Grossing experience so far. Right, there we are. And with a toot, the Duke Dog leaves. So I know it's been a bit of a longer one, but hopefully with the trains moving it's not been too awful to sit through. So apologies to Highboy and Hogger and anyone else that does engage, but I'm actually going to welcome comments here underneath. If you think I'm jumping the gun and you know of a secret stash of castles and so on, then hey, let me know. I'm not, like I say, I wanted Cook and Manor anyway. So it's not a hugie, but let me know. Anyway, take care all, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.